Hello everybody, Jason Basson here. Now I'm gonna do a new series about my vinyl collection. Let's say I'm gonna tell you the vinyls that I recommend fiercely. So really the very good records, 5-star records for me. The last video I did about my records was back in December 2015, and after that there were no more videos, and that has two reasons. Firstly, I quit buying records. Let's say I have kicked off of buying records. It was becoming too big. Too much money went on my records, and I drew a limit. I drew a line. So secondly, I wanted to put more time in music making. So all said about that. On my channel you find also already two series about my vinyl collection. The first one is A Voice for Vinyl, and then the second one is from discography from A to Z. You get all the groups from my record collection. Then in between you have also videos from my findings on markets and on the KDX fairs. And then the last video I did was the best finds for less money. For a little bit of money I could find really nice, the best buys. I made a video of that in December 2015. So now I'm back with my recommended vinyls. I will cut it in 6 parts because it's too much. I will talk about 170 records. This is part 1 of 2 parts about my 60s and 70s records that I recommend. So we're gonna start off now with part 1 of those recommended 60s and 70s records. This one is the first one, really legendary records. Once Upon a Time in the West by Ennio Morricone. Then the second album that I recommend is the Eddie Cochran Story. On that album you find his biggest hits, Come On Everybody, and so on. Really nice. Then another really nice record about a legendary rock and roller, Buddy Holly, is this one. Really nice. You got really good songs of him. Then the next one, there are already so much records about him. Jimi Hendrix, an element we cannot pass by. Jimi Hendrix here on a compilation, Phase and Place Volume 12, with some songs on it. Really nice. Then another one, I found it on the record fair. What I say, Jimi Hendrix. This is with early recordings of Jimi Hendrix. Really a special record. I came on that market in the afternoon. I thought every good record was already gone, but no, I found that. Then we have here Pink Floyd. I saw Roger Waters in concert recently on YouTube. This is the double live Oma Guma. Really nice. And we have more Pink Floyd that I recommend. This is the second album of Pink Floyd, A Saucer Full of Secrets. A must-have record, I find that. And also this one, this is the debut album of Pink Floyd. Most of the bands, their first ones are in most of the cases their best records. This is The Piper at the Gate of Dawn, at that moment still with Syd Barrett on lead guitar and vocals. On this album you find Lucifer Sam. My stomach is working, it has hunger, I think. This is from Holland, Boudewijn de Groot, en Voor de Overlevenden. In English is this For the Survivors. It contains really big hits here in Holland and in Belgium. Testament, really nice. And Het Land van Maas en Waal. Very known songs in the Dutch culture. Really big singer. He is still performing. And then here also a big singer from America, of course, Jim Morrison and his Doors. I recommend this album, absolutely live, double live album from the Doors. The Doors, which is really a live band, so I find the live records the best, certainly for the Doors. Then we have here the Velvet Underground, White Light, White Heat. Classic album with John Cale and Lou Reed. Lou Reed comes back a little bit later. Then we have here, of course, the Banana album, the debut album from the Velvet Underground. This was one of the last records I bought for my collection, because I found that this record had to be in my collection. And then one of the best albums, live albums, that exists, that I already heard, is this one from Iron Butterfly, Inagada da Vida. And then also one of the best records, if you can find this one, buy it immediately, Cream and I Feel Free. On that album, really nice tracks. I Feel Free, of course, Spoonful. We have also the Coffee Song and Sunshine of Your Love. The big classic. Really nice. And then also that very nice record of Cream, Disraeli Gears, very psychedelic with the eye. Really nice artwork. Then we have a compilation, The Story of Them, featuring Van Morrison with Gloria, Friday's Child and other nice tracks on it. If you can find this one, it was released, as I see it, at the end of the 60s. You get a lot of information here, text. Really nice. Then also a group that was really popular at the end of the 60s, Rare Earth, with their well-known track Get Ready. And it's in fact a mini album, one number on one side and 5 numbers on the other, but really nice. Then we have here so another one, the best of Boudewijn de Groot, To the Survivors, the album. I let you see it. This is a compilation of his biggest hits. Testament will also be on it, on this compilation. Indeed, there it is, Testament, Boudewijn de Groot. Really great artists from the Netherlands. Lisbeth List, Pastorale. She's always also from the Netherlands, really nice lady. And she still sings, I think. She had big hits in the Netherlands around end of the 60s, also with Pastorale. And she has also a really nice track, the Sneeuwkoningin. That's the Queen of Snow in English. And then a really legendary record, Switched on Bach, with music of Wendy Carlos. There are, or I don't know surely, but it's possible that there are records on the market where this guy is sitting down. I read that for the session he first sat down, but then they argued he had to stand up for the cover. So the cover was made finally with the guy standing up. So it features classic music played on the Moog synthesizer. It's all music from Bach. So in the back you see the nice Moog synthesizers. Then we have a group that was very popular in the 60s and still are. They are still playing live. Creedence Clearwater Revival. This was one of their first mini albums. Proud Mary Bayou Country. This record must be around 96-70. And then we have this live Creedence. I recommend it fiercely, this one. Live Creedence with all their big hits on it. This was released in 1975. We have Hey Tonight, Proud Mary, Sweet Hitchhiker. And then a record from a band. I have only one record of them, Van der Graaf Generator, with works from 68 till 71. Very psychedelic music, but really nice music. Van der Graaf Generator. Really hard to find on second-hand markets. This record I found on a second-hand market with a specialized seller. He had really good stuff. Then we have this one, really nice cover, Steppenwolf and a Live album. It was recorded live at various concerts during early 1970. And they play, of course, their big hit Born to be Wild also on this one. And then we are arrived at the last record from this first part, the 25th records. This is Genesis Live. Who the hell is this? That's Peter Gabriel, people. He was the singer of Genesis at that time. Really nice pictures. Genesis. So this was the first part of my 60s and 70s records. We go further on in part 2.